Program is the active center. Program is the active center.
You know that phone in your pocket or the coffee you're drinking right now? Ever just stop and wonder how it got to you from like halfway across the planet? It feels so seamless, almost like magic. But, well, it's not. It's actually a super complex web of rules and agreements, and today we're diving into the powerful organizations that are the architects of our global economy. Yep, behind pretty much every imported product you own, there's this invisible system. Think of it like a set of global traffic laws for goods, for services, and even for ideas. And if you want to understand the world we live in, you've got to understand this system. So yeah, there's this whole invisible architecture of rules and agreements and organizations that makes our global marketplace even possible. It's the system that determines what you can buy, where it comes from, and, importantly, how much you're going to pay for it.
Okay, so to really get a grip on this, we have to start at the top. We're talking about the biggest referee on the world stage, the World Trade Organization, and its ancestor, GATT.
So, the story really kicks off after World War II. This agreement, called GATT, gets created. That's the General Agreement on Tariffs and Trade. And its goal was pretty simple. Just get countries to lower the taxes, or tariffs, they slapped on imported goods. Then, you fast forward to 1995, and this simple agreement evolves into a full-blown organization, the WTO. Right, so you can think of it like a massive software update. GATT was kind of like a friendly handshake deal that just focused on physical stuff. The WTO? Oh, it's a supercharged version. It doesn't just cover goods, it covers services and ideas, things like patents and copyrights. And here's the kicker, it has actual, real power.
And this, right here, is the WTO's superpower. It acts as a global court for trade. So if a smaller country feels that a massive economic power like the US or China is breaking the rules, they can actually take them to the WTO's dispute panel. It's a system designed to level the playing field, at least in theory.
But, with great power comes great controversy. For instance, the US once banned shrimp imports from countries that use nets that were killing endangered sea turtles. The WTO, however, ruled that this environmental law was actually an illegal barrier to trade. And this case perfectly highlights the central conflict here. Where does a country's own law end, and where does global trade law begin?
So if the WTO is the big global referee, a whole lot of trade actually gets done at a more local level. You can think of these as neighborhood clubs, or as they're officially known, regional trade blocs. And of course, the most famous one, the one everyone knows, is the European Union. It's so deeply integrated that its 27 member countries basically operate as one giant economy. That creates one of the biggest single markets on the entire planet.
The whole project is built on what they call the 4 freedoms. I mean, just imagine being able to sell your stuff, invest your money, or get a job anywhere across 27 different countries with almost zero roadblocks. Plus, a bunch of them share the euro, which makes doing business even simpler. Now, here in North America, we've got the USMCA, which replaced NAFTA. And this isn't just some abstract treaty. It has real-world effects. For example, the cosmetics company Mary Kay used the agreement to smoothly expand into Mexico and Canada. That move led to a whole new corporate division and literally thousands of new jobs. Okay, I'm going to throw a number at you. $5 trillion. What do you think that represents? Well, that is the annual economic activity generated by another huge trade bloc, this one in South America.
It's called Mercosur, the Southern Common Market. Led by economic giants like Brazil and Argentina, these countries basically coordinate their trade policies so they can act as one unified force when they're negotiating with the rest of the world. So, we've met the major players, right? From the global WTO to regional clubs like the EU and Mercosur. But what are the actual rules of the game? Let's quickly break down the 3 core concepts they all work with.
First up is a tariff. Honestly, the easiest way to think about it is as an entry fee that a foreign product has to pay just to get into a country. And a huge goal of every single one of these organizations is to get countries to lower these fees, which makes stuff cheaper for all of us. And all of this is pushing towards one big idea: free trade. This is the ideal, the perfect world where goods and services can just flow across borders with zero tariffs or any other restrictions. It's the North Star that all of these agreements are trying to navigate towards. And finally, something that's become so important in our modern economy: intellectual property. This is a huge deal. It means that if you invent a new technology, or build a famous brand, or create a hit movie, it's protected from being ripped off, not just at home, but in other member countries too. It makes ideas a really valuable, tradable thing.
Okay, so we've got the global referees and we've got the regional clubs, and they're all using tools like lowering tariffs to get closer to free trade. But how does this all circle back and actually connect to you?
So let's do a super quick rundown just to lock it all in. You've got the WTO as the global mediator. You've got that deep integration in Europe with the EU. You've got streamlined commerce here in North America with USMCA, and that coordinated market down in South America with Mercosur. And of course, it all started with GATT. They all have a different scope, but a pretty similar goal.
Look, at the end of the day, here's the crucial point. These massive, sometimes abstract-sounding organizations are constantly working behind the scenes, and they directly influence the price of your food, the selection of electronics at the store, and even the job opportunities available in your own town.
And that brings us full circle, right back to that central tension. In a world that's changing so fast, who should really get the final say? Should it be a global body pushing for one universal set of rules for everybody, or should it be individual nations trying to protect their own unique interests, like, say, endangered sea turtles? That is the critical question for the future of trade.